Okay, well, welcome to everybody who's tuning in for our weekly lunchtime chat with Tlingit Haida. This week, I'm excited to have some folks join us to talk about some of the youth programs here at Tlingit Haida. Again, I'm Richard Peterson, president of Tlingit Haida. My Tlingit name is Chakya Ish. And just again, always excited to have this opportunity to share with all of our friends, tribal citizens, and about what's going on here at Tlingit Haida. I'm going to have our folks go ahead and introduce themselves, and start with Veronica.
Thank you. My name's Veronica Hoyle. I am the program coordinator for employment and training. I've been here 5 years. Thank you.
Thanks, Veronica. Renee?
Klugum Yuchat Duasak, Chukansha Ayachet. My name is Renee Culp. I am the program coordinator of the Navigators and thrilled to be here with you today, President Peterson, as well as with my coworkers.
Thanks, Renee. Will?
Will Yuchat Duasak. I'm Will. I work for Tribal Family and Youth Services as the Suicide Prevention Specialist, and Gunuk Chish for having us today.
Thanks, Will. And Michaela?
Skolhats Yuchat Duasak. Hello, my name is Michaela. My Tlingit name is Skolhats. I am the Youth Healing to Wellness Specialist, and I'm happy to be here with you all today.
Great. Well, as usual, we'll have just a conversation, and then we'll, when we finish up our conversation, we'll open up for comments from our friends that have been tuning in. And I want to remind those that are watching along live with us today, if you like the video, you'll be entered in to win some door prizes, and pretty good door prizes. So please be sure to like that. We'll go ahead and get started. So Veronica, this has been a tough year with the COVID-19 and kind of unusual for us. And our youth education program, our youth employment, we were not able to do that this year. And I know that we were talking before this, gosh, almost 30 years ago, I was a client in one of those programs, and as Renee identified that she was too. And so we know the impact. Even though we're not having this program this year, we know it's something that we'll be bringing back when we're back to some normalcy. Can you talk about this program?
Yes, it's the YES program runs June 1st through August 31st. It serves children 14 to 24 that are looking for part-time or full-time work, and they are paired with host employers. Helps the students discover career paths, developing employment skills and self-sufficiency. It also provides youth with the job and life skill classes that teaches them job search, interview tips, how to complete an application, write a cover letter, and building resume.
Last year, your team not only hosted the YES program, you also brought in all of the youth for a camp. Can you talk about that a little more and perhaps share a video recap of last year's youth camp?
Yes, that was a really great summer program. We had 70 youth that came in from all the Southeast communities. We had Katrina with Career Works, who provided the seminars for the youth. The seminars included like employment skills, helping them to navigate in the world of employment. It was a 2-day camp. It had interviewing strategies, resume writing, and applying for jobs, and much more. But it also included, we also had like downtime where they would they got to come together in a group and do evening activities, such as playing in the hub. The hub had like a game room. They we had beading and drum and paddle workshops also for them, and that was a great time.
That looked pretty awesome, and it looked like they were pre-masking before masking was cool. So pretty neat to see some of those programs that they had and that they were able to do. And I know that we've brought these youth in for the last couple of years, and some of the life skills and different things that they've participated in, I've heard really good feedback from. And I even had a couple of parents reach out and thank us and say, you know, yeah, my child went and they came back and they were so excited and energized. And so we're very eager to get back to doing those kind of programs once we get back to some normalcy, or, you know, whatever the future lies for us, we'll adapt and make sure that we're doing these kind of things. Will, can you talk about all the ways Tribal Family Youth Services is supporting our youth through the Native Connections program?
Absolutely, Gunakchish. You know, I'd like to begin by saying that our program is really this massive team effort. All of our programs couldn't be possible without our partnerships with Sealaska Heritage, Gold Belt Heritage, the Juneau School District, and also the TFYS family itself. They're always there to give help and guidance when needed. The Native Connections program is essentially in two parts, one during the school day and the one after school. During the school day, we coordinated the Elders in School program, which you can see a picture of right here on the slide. And I think that picture, I love it because I think it really embodies the values that we're trying to encourage in the youth that we're working with, of holding each other up and showing respect to each other and to elders. And I love that picture of Percy and Ed, because I think it sort of distills why we do what we do. And that Elders in School program we had in all of the high schools, both middle schools and 2 elementary schools. And it sort of ranged from teaching Tlingit language to values, to culture, to weather, to science. And then after school, we hosted Hlutzin Adventure Club, boys rani tu klatsin and ichsachana kwan. And right here on this slide, we have some more pictures from our Elders in School program, sort of showing the scope of what we do. And a big part of that was that Juneau School District teachers would make a request, and that's what both of these pictures are showing at Sayek Gastineau School. And so a teacher would ask, can we learn more about weather or about Tlingit Yucatangi? And we'd work with elders and come up with a lesson. And these are some awesome pictures of Mary Lekanoff and Fran Houston and Leona Santiago sharing their time with us. And that we're this amazing group of elders really, I think, shared so much effort and knowledge, and we're so thankful for that. And here at the middle school, I was sort of blown away by the participation. You know, on a weekly basis, we'd often have like over 100 students attend. And I think it sort of showed this thirst for learning more about the culture and the language. And what you see in the school district is there's a lot of focus on the elementary school, and it was really exciting to see older students really interested in this. And so the other part of our program was after school, where at Harborview we did Klatsin Adventure Club and Boys Run E2 Klatsin, where we sort of focus on cultural learning and outdoor leadership and learning about, you know, how can we be a respectful young person. And then our older kiddo program, which is Ichsachana Kwan, which will be sort of the focus of the next few slides. The cool thing about Ichsachana Kwan is it came from the youth themselves. We did some focus groups at the high schools, gosh, must have been 3 years ago at this point. And we asked the students, what are the kind of programs that you want to see? What would be helpful for you? And what emerged from those focus groups is they wanted to learn more about the culture and traditional harvest and the language, but they also wanted to do music videos. And so that's where this idea of let's do a music video about what it's like to live in Southeast came up. And that was our first project that we did together with this group of students. And over time, it sort of changed with the group of students about their interests and what they wanted to learn about. And so we've had 3 music videos with this group, and then we also worked on a project with Sealaska Heritage's Klatsin Camp. And as you can see, if you want to take a look at those videos, there's a link down at the bottom.
I really encourage people to go to the YouTube and watch these videos. They're just phenomenal. Last year, I had the good fortune to visit with Portugal the Man, the band, Grammy-winning band, and shared with them, and they were just blown away by the quality of this work by our youth, and just phenomenal. And I'm going to embarrass Veronica a little bit, but her son Arias, he's the tall one there with the hair in the middle, and what an amazing young man Arias is, and so grounded in culture and just wanting to share our culture in such contemporary ways and ways that our youth connect with is so awesome to see.
Good, Sheesh. You know, all of these students and Arias and Arturo, and it's why we do the work we do. It's inspiring to learn from them, and it's been incredible to see the art that they've put together.
You know, it's really worth noting too, because I've gotten to know some of these young folks, to see where they're going and what they're doing. I feel a sense of pride, and I'm sure their families, who deserve the lion's share of the credit for where they're at. But I have to think that our programs have at least a small impact on that positivity and helping you know, light that spark in them a little bit, and maybe not light the spark, but more nurture it. And I feel really good about that when I talk to these folks.
Sheesh. In the last year, we've pivoted with the group of students, and I think it's on the next slide, in working on a radio program. And again, it's all the things we do are rooted in the culture. And that's sort of the guiding force about the values about any program we're doing. And our most recent group of students decided, let's sort of interrogate racism in Juneau. Let's learn about it. You know, this is something that people have been dealing with a long time in Juneau. There's a history of colonialism here, and it was really amazing to see their candor and bravery to be able to talk about that on the radio, that these are hard topics to discuss and to untangle, especially at such a young age. And I was really proud of them for putting together this podcast, and so thankful for Lyle and Colleen taking the time to join us. And I also can't say thank you enough to KTOO, who has really put in a lot of time and made the space for the youth to have this show. And I guess the final thing I wanted to talk about with our programming is that, you know, I'm sure as all of you had to do, we had to retool after COVID hit. And so I reached out to my mentor, Nancy Douglas in Sitka, and said, okay, what are we doing for kids right now? Our kiddos this is a hard time. And so we put our heads together and we came up with Strengthening Families Through Culture. And it was with a team that we've worked with before on camps, Miss Kitty and Mr. George and a few others. And it really was taking this look at the culture of, okay, Tlingit people have survived and thrived during really tough times. And that was sort of the guide for our summer programming. And we did this virtual culture camp that sort of blew my mind. And because I think COVID-19 sort of overwhelmed what I thought a model of a program would look like. But this virtual reality was actually really awesome. And we could reach a lot of kiddos that were in foster care, that live in other communities in Ketchikan and Anchorage and down south. And we were able to have over 80 students. And that is just a much bigger capacity than we could ever do in person. And so even though it was really hard, it was really heartening to see such an amazing turnout of students. And we're sort of using that as our model going forward of trying to figure out, okay, now how can we support our youth virtually and also from a distance, and making sure that they're safe and have that support. And so I just wanted to say Gunuk Chish to all those who made that possible, and for thanking you for letting us share about it on this program. And if anyone's interested in finding out more about our programming going forward, feel free to email me. I think my contact information is on the next slide, and Gunuk Chish.
Great, thank you for that, Will. Of course, I was muted. Thank you for that, Will. You know, for the past year, KTOO public media staff have provided mentorship to Alaska youth on media production projects, and even open up their airwaves to allow the youth group to take over K2's Juneau afternoon program. Can you talk about this collaboration a little more?
Absolutely. It's been pretty awesome. So every week, and before COVID, it was a little different. We would actually go into the studio, and they opened up all of their tech, and as you can see in this picture, microphones, and teaching the students every aspect of what it takes to put on a radio show. It's writing the script, it's coming up with the questions, it's knowing to put the microphone in the right place, and making sure you give enough pause. You know, with NPR, there's that distinctive sound, and so it's teaching all of those pieces. And so it was really amazing that Scott Burton and Shelley Delaney have made that space for youth. And even after COVID, we have been meeting by Zoom. And so it's been harder for sure, but sort of this desire that we want to make sure there's a space where students can talk about tough things and be able to broadcast it has really animated, I think, their partnership, and they've really had a commitment to making this happen.
We turn to Michaela. You joined us already for a lunchtime chat on our tribal court, but can you share with us again the Youth Healing to Wellness Court, peace circles, and other community work you're facilitating as part of the tribal court?
Yeah, Ganesh Chish. So with the Youth Healing to Wellness Core, our program is focused on providing restorative justice to tribal youth age 14 to 21. And the purpose of this program is to help reduce recidivism and substance use among the youth in our community. And our hopes are to work with the youth and their family with our Youth Healing to Wellness team to kind of identify how can we be there as support for the youth and their family. And so with our Youth Healing to Wellness team, it consists of a program specialist, coordinator, and a peacemaker. And right now we're working to incorporate a caseworker and clinician to kind of provide more of a multidisciplinary, holistic approach to working with youth and their family. Um, our team is focused on providing kind of the mentorship and guidance for a youth who is seeking that, and we try to do that by focusing on their strengths and also identifying issues that maybe the family is facing and how can we work collaboratively with the family to come up with solutions. And through the Healing to Wellness Court, we try to do that by really incorporating peacemaking. So part of peacemaking is kind of coming together to talk about an issue that a family has come across. Maybe it's substance use during school. Times are different now, but it could have been, truancy or, but really we try to work with the family to kind of talk about it and get all perspectives on what's going on and how can we come up with solutions to work together and address the needs of the family and the youth. Our program is focused on teaching the youth accountability and responsibility. And we make sure to do that with being gentle on the person and hard on the issue and trying to help bridge the connections among youth and the community. Because when we're working on healing an individual, we're not only working with that individual, but we're helping kind of provide restoration for the community in itself and kind of making the community more healthier as we're doing that. And so through our work, we really try to focus on bringing the youth towards community engagement. Maybe that's working with an elder, learning more language, living our way of life through those tribal values, and how can we do that on a daily basis. It's providing collaborative intervention, getting the youth and their family to the services they need. Maybe there's obstacles that they're facing, and also trying to encourage the youth and their family to, participate in our cultural and traditional practices as they're going through this. We've really, through the Healing to Wellness Court, have identified that culture as healing, and so we really push for that. And yeah, it's a great program, and we are even with everything going on right now, we are taking referrals. So I want to emphasize that families or youth can call our front desk at the 907-463-7165, or you can email our email address, which is wellnesscourt@ccthita-nsn.gov. So we'd love to hear from families and work with them, and feel free to reach out to us, or even if it's just a simple question, our team is here for our tribal citizens.
Hey, that's great, Michaela. You also serve on the Youth Commission Advisory Group. Can you share some information on the Youth Commission and what they're trying to accomplish?
Yeah. So our current emerging leader identified that creating a youth advisory or a youth commission would be really beneficial to enhancing the youth voice and kind of providing more opportunities for tribal youth leadership. And so this group has been formed to kind of create a youth commission, and what we've done so far is drafted up bylaws and guidelines for a youth commission, and we're essentially looking to help bring in tribal youth citizens from the different communities to join this youth commission and learn about parliamentary procedures, resolution drafting, how to be an advocate for communities, and learning different governing structures. And so if youth are interested, we do have an application process right now. The Eligibility requirements are that the youth have to be an enrolled tribal citizen and between the ages of 15 to 27. And our application is on the Tlingit Haida website, and you can submit a completed version to. It looks like the email address listed there on the screen. But we're accepting those until September 18th. And for any youth that want to learn more, reach out to me or whoever else, or yeah, just reach out to me and we can help answer those questions. Or if you want to learn more, yeah, it's a great opportunity, and I encourage youth interested, please apply.
One of the things that the Youth Commission Advisory Group has sponsored is our hashtag Old Ways Summer Days Challenge. Can you talk about that a little more and share with us some information on the eligibility requirements and all the great prizes that youth can win for entering the challenge?
Yeah. So with Old Ways Summer Days, we are challenging youth right now to go and participate in cultural traditional activities. So that can be harvesting, form line, going to pick berries, really anything, singing and drumming, storytelling. And essentially when you do that, we're hoping to encourage youth to participate, take a photo or video, and then as you post that on different social media platforms, use the hashtag Old Ways Summer Days. So each time you use that hashtag, you can be entered into our challenge up to 10 times. And right now we're encouraging youth who are 12 to 27 to participate. And so our challenge ends September 18th, and I really encourage you to participate in this challenge. First prize, you could win a MacBook Pro. Second is an iPad Pro, a Google Pixel book, or Visa cards, which, those would be good to have. But really, it's just a call out to our youth to go and participate in our way of life and learn what you can from community members or elders in a safe way. And yeah, so please participate in this challenge. Everyone in the advisory group is keeping a lookout for the hashtags and those submissions.
Great, thanks for sharing all that, Michaela. Renee, the Navigators program was established in 2017. Can you provide an overview of the program and its purpose?
Yes, Ganesh Hawa, President Peterson, for having us here again today. It's exciting to have the opportunity to share about all these things that we have going on. The Navigators is a relationship-based prevention and early intervention program with a holistic and trauma-informed approach that serves Native youth ages 13 to 24. Those are all fancy words to say that we're aunties and uncles who have a unique privilege of helping our kids walk in two worlds, learning to navigate life. The youth enrolled in the Navigators program are provided with group and individual opportunities that intentionally help youth to navigate through adolescence into adulthood. So earlier I heard you, President Peterson, talking about visiting with Portugal the Man. A couple of our kids have connected with Portugal the Man, and we'll be networking with him and working on projects with them. To help them learn to navigate life, participants answer 4 essential questions. Who am I? Where am I? Where do I want to go? And how do I get there? Our program focuses on cultural connectedness, learning and practicing critical life skills, and providing academic support and leadership opportunities in a safe and engaging environment to help answer all of those 4 questions. The eligibility requirements for the Navigators is ages 13 to 24. You have to be Alaska Native or American Indian. You really need to show interest in joining the group because it's a volunteer group. And to be eligible, you must display need. And that need can look like at-risk youth, but you don't necessarily have to be at risk. You could have an interest in increased cultural connectedness, an interest in learning life skills, or a need or want assistance in transitioning into adulthood. The application process to become a navigator, you must complete the program application and we'll review it for eligibility.
So in light of the coronavirus pandemic, the Navigators team has had to really quickly adapt the way it's delivering the program and has moved to offering all of its services online. Can you talk about the upcoming virtual scholarship workshop, the study group, and the adulting course you have planned?
Yes, thank you again, President Peterson. The Navigators offers additional services and over and above our core program, in which you don't have to be enrolled in that program to receive those services. We have a few excellent opportunities that are coming up for tribal youth. This pandemic really has been hard on all of us in making those needed changes. We have a wonderful team with the Navigators who have worked hard to make these opportunities available online. The adulting course that is on the screen right now is going to be held it'll start on August 17th next week and go through September 24th. It'll be held on Monday and Wednesday. And the course is open to youth between ages of 16 to 24. The classes build on each other and will teach adulting skills such as budgeting, money and time management, housing, but so much more. Really, you don't need to attend every single class. You can attend one class or all classes. But the more that you attend, the more that you'll learn. The registration there is on the screen. And the really exciting thing is we have been piling up door prizes for weekly door prizes, and then a really wonderful grand prize valued at $1,100 that you have to attend the first session on Monday to learn what that grand prize is. Let's see, this fall we are starting up our study group. Historically, we've offered study group in person, but this year, and actually last year, we ended study group virtually just to try to help push through the end of the school year. This year, we're starting out virtually. It begins on August 26th, and it's held every Wednesday from 4:30 to 6:30. It is available to tribal students, 6th grade to 12th grade. And it's to help them really get the most out of their school year. There is tutoring and homework coaching available through Zoom breakout rooms. So we recognize that getting into a Zoom meeting room isn't necessarily conducive to studying, so we use the breakout rooms. Some of the benefits we've hoped that students will get and really have heard from students who have attended our study group is that they learn faster with new skills, and that really gives them more free time. Attending study group helps break up that study humdrum that we can get into when we don't want to hit the books and we need to. It expands when you're studying with other people and learning from other people, you expand your mind and you're able to gain new perspectives. I like to say that attending study group helps you kick that procrastination to the curb and just helps you get down to the nitty-gritty, because we're there to help you fill in those gaps and take care of what you need to take care of. With almost all of our events, we hold door prizes. And so one of our students said, attending study group really pays. You get door prizes and you get better grades. The scholarship workshop that is coming up, we will be doing it virtually also this year. We've held this a couple of years in a row now, and this year the scholarship workshop will be held on September 11th from 1:30 to 1 to 3:30 p.m. It's intended for higher education bound students up to 24 years old, and I don't necessarily put a low age on that, because in looking for scholarships, you'll find that there are scholarships out there for elementary and middle school students as well, and it's never too early to start figuring out what that complicated process is about. During the workshop, we will cover the scholarship and FAFSA application process. Will help students identify and apply for scholarships. We bring our English tutor there and our homework coaches to help with writing cover letters and essays. Again, we'll do door prizes at this one, and the registration is there on the slide. What I would like to encourage students to do is to bring your 2019 taxes, or if you're a dependent, bring the taxes of who you're dependent on. Normally we ask you to bring your admission and acceptance letters, and that's not necessarily to prove to us that you've got into school. That's so that we can make copies for you. This year that'll be a little difficult to do, so really just come with your 2019 taxes. So those are pretty much the programs that the opportunities that we have available for students right now. The Navigators is fully running right now, and we are accepting applications for our core program. Ganesh Chief, President Peterson.
Thanks. That was quite a bit of information, and I think we're offering some great opportunities. And I get that we probably wanted to try to offer those live and have that participation, but for those that maybe can't participate during that time, much like our lunchtime chats, are we sharing that information on like our YouTube channels or other ways that they can go back and watch them later?
Because we will be doing it on Zoom in this same format, we will be recording, and then yes, I am going to be sharing those with our communication department to get available to our citizens. That's
great, thanks. Between all the various programs you've been partnering to host the Tongass Time, can all of you have been involved with that? Can you talk about this weekly program that you've been providing over the summer?
Sure, I don't mind starting out talking about it, but certainly if Will or Michaela would like to chime in, as they are also partners in hashtag Tongass Time. We have been very busy with hashtag Tongass Time. It's a distracting hour of entertainment for Southeast Alaska youth, ages actually, we go as young as 1 up to 24. And our reasoning for, and it's held on Wednesday via Zoom, or you can often find us on Facebook Live, but we go down to 1-year-olds because you can be hearing that and hearing the stories and start building that within you. The Jeopardy games, though, are 7 to 24. We just had our 15th episode air yesterday, and that was pretty exciting. We have storytellers, entertainers, and fun games such as Southeast Alaska Jeopardy. The youth have the opportunity to win some great prizes, and it's been super fun for us as well as the kids to really be able to unplug from their COVID world for a minute and just enjoy being kids in this time. The information about how to join hashtag Tongass Time is on the screen, and I would like to offer the floor to Will or Michaela if they would like to add anything about that fun time that we've been having with the kids. Ganesh Chief, President Peterson.
For sure. Yeah. I briefly want to share kind of what inspired hashtag Tongass Time. As you know, we've come into this time of COVID. We had noticed some organizations host this wellness space virtually for their communities online. And so a few of our community partners came together that work with youth, came together and were like, how can we do this for community youth or our youth across Southeast to kind of provide that space of just words of encouragement or uplifting or even entertainment, as you know, sometimes social distancing can get tough on those of us. So we wanted to provide that and kind of um, provide this uplifting space for youth virtually. And so far, it's been great with our guest speakers just offering really encouraging and powerful words. And we usually, you know, it's focused, our efforts are definitely focused towards youth, but we definitely have that family engagement going on as well. And we've had comments received from families on how, wow, you know, those words or that activity was really helpful. Thank you for providing that for us. And so there's some activities that have been shared where families can kind of do that outside of Tongass time and kind of keep continuing that activity to be active or to do something fun. Um, and then with that, another popular thing we've made sure to incorporate is including Jeopardy. And with our Jeopardy games, you know, we try to make it fun and fun trivia, things that um, we think the kids will know. We focused on Disney, and but we've also included Jeopardy on like camping safety or being out in the wilderness safety, because you know we recognize right now summer and people are being active. And while we hold these Jeopardy games, we also try to kind of provide teaching as we're going along with that. So I'll pass it off to Will, but thank you, Renee.
Geesh, I think Michaela and Renee nailed it. There isn't much I can add.
I think you're muted, President.
And saying brilliant things too, by the way.
Probably the most brilliant things I've ever said, and I was muted. No, I had a couple questions, you know, especially with like the tutoring and the Tongass time. Is that something that, like, if folks want to volunteer, who can they reach out to, and can they? And, you know, I guess that's what I'm wondering. That didn't sound so brilliant after all, Renee.
So there's a phone number there for Tongass Time, and really that phone number gets to the program aid for navigators. And so anything that we've talked about for navigators, that phone number can get you to answering any of those questions. She's also extremely helpful if you're like, I heard Veronica talking about, she'll transfer you to Veronica or Will or anyone really. Yes, if you want to volunteer or would like to provide entertainment for Tongass Time, please reach out to us. I really encourage not just youth ages 1 to 24 to participate in this, but families have been joining with their youth, and it's been pretty powerful. It's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy the guest speakers, and their stories are extremely powerful. And then watching the kids play Jeopardy, oh my, that is too entertaining. So if you at all enjoy Jeopardy, come on. And on Wednesday, occasionally we have Jeopardy, and it's really fun to play along. You could be shouting out the answers in the background. And with our study group, President Peterson, I appreciate you asking again about that. I had actually forgotten to announce a really exciting thing that we're doing with navigators. Yes, we can. We love volunteers to help out. Navigators are always bringing in aunties and uncles. So if anything that you heard today that you would like to help out with, give us a call. But an exciting announcement that I would like to share about our study group is in light of the COVID challenges and returning to school, we have been able to work with our team, and we are opening up our study group to elementary students as well. And so we are in the process of getting that information out. So please keep an eye out for that. If you have elementary students and you're wondering how you're going to navigate that, we'll be able to bring that. What day and time that will happen, that will all be announced. Keep an eye out for that. So thank you for bringing that up again, because I had forgotten to make that announcement.
Hey, no problem. Thank you. That really concludes our chat, and now I'd like to open it up for public questions. Sam, do we have any questions from our public?
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, we do have a few questions today. Our first question is from Cindy Peterson. She's asking, are these, believe this is directed towards Will, are the culture camps available to youth outside of our service areas? We have lots of youth that would love a trip to Alaska to participate. And if so, would our chapter have to provide transportation costs, room and board? We'd like to know in order to start budget planning and grant writing for these opportunities.
Well, for this summer, it was all virtual, so it was absolutely yes. We haven't planned out next summer, so just reach out to me. You have my email, and I can contact you about those opportunities as they come up. I'm sorry I don't have more of an answer than that.
Will, I'd like to just say to you too, consider me a resource. I can bring potential partners to the table that can help with funding as well. We definitely want to try to reach all of our tribal citizens. And, you know, some of these programs you'll see were really Juneau specific, and those were based on Juneau dollars. And some, like the Yes, was region. And so that was our service area. But, you know, I think anybody who knows me knows I want to do away with service area as a barrier. Our youth are Tlingit Haida no matter where they live, and we want to engage and involve. And I think, you know, if you can say anything good comes out of the COVID, it's just hard to say. One thing positive is we're taking a lot of things virtual, and I'm hoping that means that really opens the doors to everybody no matter where they are. Of course, it's kind of ironic because then in some of our villages, connectivity is a real issue. So where they might have had more participation before in person now, you know, so we're looking at all those. We don't want any barriers in the way of our youth participating.
Chief President Peterson.
Thank you. I believe we might have covered this, but Arthur Frank was asking, how would you join each of the Jeopardy games?
Good question, Arthur. So for the Jeopardy game, we have a Zoom link, and that is on our flyer that is shared on Tlingit Haida's page. You can also contact me or folks on the hashtag Tongass Time team, and we try to announce when there's going to be a Jeopardy game. Sometimes we'll have a guest speaker planned out, but then we have to fall back to a Jeopardy game. So just look out for those announcements on social media, and then there's a link usually attached, and that's how you can join our games. Good question.
Awesome. Next question is from Tommy G. He was actually just curious about what it would look like and how he would go about creating these youth programs in Sitka. The information has been super helpful. He's just been wanting to utilize skills to create some similar programs in Sitka or other communities.
So Tommy G, please reach out to me. My direct line is 907-463-7348. Part of what Navigators program is tasked to do is to help create similar like Navigator programs anywhere any villages that are interested in it. And I recognize that what Navigators looks like for Juneau will not be the same that it will look like for Sitka or Angoon or any of the various different locations on POW. And certainly that will be part of the discussion. That's certainly for me. And I'm also willing to help anyone who is struggling with how do we get creative with providing services remotely. It has been extremely challenging, but we have a real dynamic group and we have done some pretty fun and creative things that have been social distance and virtual. So please, not just Tommy G, anyone who is out there listening, feel free to reach out to me. 463-7348.
Thanks for that. I just wanted to chime in. I think that was a great question. My hope is, in everything we do, that it get the furthest impact possible. And if that's other groups replicating or creating their own programs, I think please consider us a resource. We want to see more for our youth all the time. So, we're excited to be a resource for anybody that has those questions like Tommy G did. If you see something we're doing and you like it, we're not upset if you borrow it or use it.
Awesome. Our last question is from Emily Nelson, and she's just curious if Tongass Time is going to continue through the school year.
You kind of broke out on me, Sam. I didn't hear the last part of it.
Oh, I apologize. Emily Nelson is wondering if the Tongass Time is going to continue through the school year.
Good question.
So let's see. Yes is the answer. The partners got together and talked about the reason why we are offering #Tongass Time, which is that kids have fear and anxiety with what's going on right now, and that we have the capacity to continue. So at the very least, it's going to continue through the end of December, and then we'll reevaluate as to whether or not the communities feel that it is helpful and there's a need past that.
Awesome. I think that's all the questions I have today, guys.
That made me think, one of the questions I've actually been asked several times is about the lunchtime chats. And, if we plan to continue these. And again, when we've gone into this COVID, one of the questions management of the tribe we talk about is, how are we stronger on the other side of this than we were when we went in? And so like the lunchtime chats, this is a new permanent thing. This is going to be every Thursday at noon for foreseeable future. And I welcome people, if there's questions, topics you would like us, we're trying to cover all of our different departments and programs. We will have special highlights, like we did one on the CARES Act recently. We're going to be doing something for Get Out the Native Vote. We're going to be we've done them on census. If there's something you want to know, feel free to send a message to our communications team and let them know that you would like one around a certain topic. We just recently, I know one we're going to be doing is around our VAWA committee, which is the Violence Against Women Act committee. And they're going to have a special lunchtime chat to talk about that. So, we want to keep these going. And with that, I think we're ready to share our door prize winners. And this week we have some David Boxley Formline t-shirts, which I don't think everybody's seen yet. And we'll if you follow us on social media, we'll be doing a post showing. We have some really great new Formline shirts there. And our winners this week are David Wahlberg and Philip Cadiente. So David and Philip, if you send a private message on our Facebook with your mailing addresses, we'll get those out to you ASAP. That concludes this week's lunchtime chat. I really want to thank again our panelists. Really appreciate the information and just awesome work that you're all doing. I couldn't be more proud. And it's really exciting to see how adaptive you've all been with this crazy time we live in. So Gunak shout out to you for what you're doing and putting your heart and soul out there for our youth. I'd like to thank our sponsors, our Sacred Grounds Cafe, Smokehouse Catering, Sacred Shine Auto Detailing, the Elizabeth Paradovich Hall, and our Navigators program. We'll tune back in next week where we're going to talk about Get Out the Native Vote. We have, this is a big year for vote. I think we continue to prove that apathy is our enemy. We need to get off the fence, get out and vote. I'm not telling you how to vote or who to vote for, just that if you're Native, you need to get out and vote. Make sure that your voice is heard and counted. And I think, you know, especially with the local elections, we need to make sure that when we look at the people in those elected positions, that we can see ourselves there, that we see that they represent our views, our needs, our issues. And that's becoming clearer and clearer to me every day, and I hope it's clear to you. So tune in next week and learn about Get Out the Native Vote. Appreciate you all, and I think another great lunchtime chat. I'm really just proud of this format, and I think going forward, it's going to really show that we're being held accountable, that we're transparent, and that most importantly, we're accessible to our citizens. So everybody be well, and we'll see you next week. Great job, guys.